Hi, welcome to the Faculty of Science Open House presentation. I'm St-Amant, Vice Dean, Undergraduate Studies and Student Experience for the Faculty of Science, and joining me is
Monica Nevins. I'm Vice Dean, Governance and International Relations. So welcome very much to the University of Ottawa Open House. In this short presentation, we're going to tell you a lot about the Faculty of Science and why we think that you would love to be here.
one of our promotional taglines is your passion for discovery, discover your passion. What that means is your passion for discovery. As a scientist, you want to figure out why things happen. You want to better understand the universe. So you have to have that passion to discover new things. But also, as you're evolving as a scientist, going through your undergraduate program, you discover your true passion. Me personally, 38 years ago, I started off at the university and I went into biology. I thought I wanted to be a biologist, and I quickly discovered I didn't like biology very much, but I loved chemistry. So I transferred from biology to chemistry. And as I evolved through my program, I discovered I love more the physical mathematical side of chemistry. And so I added a minor in mathematics, computer science. And I'm very happy that I made that transition. And I am totally happy in the career I chose.
I started off here as an undergraduate at the University of Ottawa in math, computer science, and physics. I knew I liked something of that, but I didn't know where it would lead me. I had no idea. But somewhere in second year, I discovered the course that I've been waiting for all my life. It was the most amazing experience. And from that moment on, I knew I was destined to be a mathematician. And after doing my PhD at MIT, I returned to the University of Ottawa as a professor, and I'm now in the Department of Mathematics and Statistics. This is all to say that just following your interests and doing the thing that seems the most interesting and exciting to you is actually a strategy to get to where you want to go.
So a brief overview of the Faculty of Science. We're about 4,500 undergraduate students, and that's about 10% of the student population at the University of Ottawa. Every year we admit about 1,300 students, and our teaching staff is about 160 professors, and we also have support staff working in the laboratories. That's about 50 individuals. We're definitely a big enough university to offer high quality training in the sense that every one of our disciplines has access to the same equipment that any other university in the country would have. But also there are much bigger faculties across the country. And at 4,500, we still have a kind of like a small feel. And I'm happy to say through my role as undergraduate studies vice dean, I do get to meet a large number of the students, and it's one of the funnest things in my job. So we're small enough to offer that personalized service.
So just to cap up a few of our big strengths at the Faculty of Science. So the installations, we have 9 state-of-the-art buildings with some of the most amazing scientific equipment across Canada, some of it quite unique and unique to Canada. But we're also in the capital city. The city of Ottawa, if you haven't been, it's a small, big city of about 1 million people, very green, and we're right downtown. It's an urban campus, a very exciting place to be. And it's also an excellent place to be studying science because of all the federal labs and associated high-tech companies that are all over the city of Ottawa, hiring our summer students, our co-op students, and our graduates. Another neat feature of the University of Ottawa is its bilingualism. You can study in English or in French or in both. And there are scholarships for students who wish to study in French, maybe continue their French immersion from high school. The bilingualism is a great asset on the job market as well. But what really sets us apart are our people. It starts with the students, you. Our students are the top students on campus. They're attracted here for the excellent programs, and your classmates will be people that you really get along with, that you understand. And then there's the staff. They are award-winning. These are everything from the frontline people who will answer your questions to the lab technicians who will show you how well this equipment works. And then there's the professors. The researchers are attracted here by the amazing opportunities for research, and that pays off for all the students as they share their excitement for research with you. In fact, the Faculty of Science has had the distinction of winning the top awards for the Professor of the Year and Researcher of the Year many more times than we can count. And we're very proud to have professors who are as dedicated to students and to researchers as we do.
So beyond the research facilities, the teaching facilities is a huge part of the faculty. So on this slide, we see a couple of images. To the top left, we see someone working in the greenhouse. We actually have 2 greenhouses on top of 2 different buildings. To the right, we see somebody working in our chemistry lab, which is this huge, what we call the super lab, where we can have roughly 180 students working at the same time on an experiment. And of course, it's fun to do the experiments because that's your one chance really to get to socialize with other students, because you don't really get to do that during a lecture. To the lower left, we also have a teaching lab in biology, and you'll notice that as the people are working, they all have computers to work with. They work in pairs. Each group of 2 has access to a computer, and you don't see it in this one, but in things like our dissection lab and our microscopy lab, whatever you see, there's also a camera mounted on the microscope or above the dissection table. And if there's something interesting, you don't sketch it out. What you do is you just take a picture, download it onto the computer, the server, and when you get home at night to write your lab report, it's there waiting for you to incorporate into your report. So every time you see something, you can record it by taking a photograph. We also have, of course, our support services in place in the faculty. First and foremost, the undergraduate office, the staff from a year ago, you see to the lower left. And what they do is any question you have about your programs or adding a class or dropping a class or switching programs, you talk to the undergraduate office. We also have the math, chemistry, and physics help centers. Those are kind of like the problem-solving disciplines, and what happens is if you need help, individual, one-on-one, you just drop in on the help center, either in person or virtually, and someone will guide you to come up with the solution to the problem. Let's say your issue isn't really a problem related to the course, but more questions like adjusting to university life or trying to know good study tips. You can go to the Science Mentoring Center. So what we have to the lower right is our mentoring center from last academic year. So 18 actually, very pleasant students who have gone through exactly the same experiences you went through when you did your first year. You'll see many of our classes have discussion groups. So when a professor is lecturing, the material comes at you fast and furious. Yes, we do examples to kind of like highlight, but it's maybe not enough for you to fully grasp. So in addition to your traditional lectures, what happens is you have discussion groups that are led by the professor or a teaching assistant who's a graduate student, a master's in the discipline or a PhD in the discipline. They'll work out the problem for you. And then finally, we have study groups that are led by the mentors as well that you see at the lower right. What happens is they go through problems, but they guide you to the solution. They teach you how to learn to solve the problems yourselves in a collaborative fashion. So ideally, it's you working with other students trying to come up with a solution to the problem.
So let's talk about our programs, which are the real reason you're going to come here. There are a plethora of programs, and I'm just going to do a very quick overview. But maybe the key thing to remember is it's not so important which program you've picked, because all of them are very similar in first year, and we do encourage you to discover your passion and find the exact perfect fit for you. So the ones I mentioned here are the ones in the life sciences. So biochemistry, biology, biotechnology, think vaccine production, biopharmaceutical sciences, think drug making and all the applied biochemistry, biomedical science, which is a really integrated program that includes a lot of different subjects that are of interest to students who are just more generally interested in the medical fields, and it'll have options in things like biostatistics or neuroscience. In addition to that, we have a bunch of programs in mathematics and the physical sciences. So classics such as chemistry, geology or geology physics, environmental geoscience. In mathematics, we have both pure mathematics and statistics, but also combined programs, financial mathematics and economics, for those who are interested in headed to the stock market at the end. Mathematics and economics, a more theoretical basis and good grounds for graduate school in economics. Physics and physics mathematics, of course, physics with electrical engineering, environmental science in the same department as earth sciences, and then ophthalmic medical technology, a very specialized program. There's also many programs that are, as you can see, interdisciplinary. Some have admission through another faculty, and that would be like data science, which is a special 5-year program integrated with math and computer science. And also there's a Bachelor of Music with Bachelor of Science. So if those are ones for you, just to pay attention that you'll apply through another faculty, but you'll still be part of our fold. Now, all of our programs come with a whole bunch of options, and these are not options that you have to worry about or choose right now, but they're ones that will come along, and they tailor the program so that these studies are your studies. You're making yourself in these 4 years in undergraduate studies. The one that I've mentioned before is the French immersion stream, always a great option for those who'd like to keep up their French, perhaps from high school. You can also, at the University of Ottawa, add a minor in any discipline you like to your program. It doesn't have to be from the sciences at all. And this is where you can just branch out and build your passions in all these other subjects that you enjoy. Within science, we also have a number of programs that have advanced scientific options. So these are specializations within the subject itself, and that includes a mention on your diploma. So it's a number of courses in a subspecialty of that discipline, and those you choose later on in your program. Some of these options are more general than that, like the science entrepreneurship option, which can be tacked on to any degree. And this one is, as you can guess, about those who are thinking of stretching their wings and becoming their own boss as they leave their undergraduate degree. There's a science policy option, excellent for those who would like to continue on to a career of talking to decision makers and communicating science to a broader public. There's a research option in some programs, and this is something that replaces classroom learning with a lot more time in the lab and studies that are very research focused. And then more broadly, away from that, we have a program called uO Global that is focused on international citizenship, understanding what your relationship is as a citizen of the world, as a scientist of the world. And a huge part of this, or independent of the uO Global program, is the opportunity to do international exchanges. Doing an international exchange, which we're sure we'll be able to do again very soon, and by the time you're in 3rd year, this is an amazing way of spreading your horizons, of understanding what opportunities are out there. And it is a great way to complement your scientific studies. Co-op is something that everyone can add to any of our programs in the Faculty of Science. So co-op is a chance for some real practical experience in your field. How it works, you can apply right now, or you can apply at the beginning of your 2nd year. And what you'll be doing is having a study and work terms alternating more or less throughout your studies. And in that time, you're paid during your co-op work terms, you're writing co-op work reports, and you're integrating your studies into some real life experience. So you come out with having earned a bit of money and having gotten quite a bit of useful experience on your resume.
The University of Ottawa prides itself on being a top 10 university for research intensity. But we also like to take that research intensity at the graduate level and incorporate it at the undergraduate level as well. And hopefully we have something that can take you from start to finish. You can always have research as part of your university experience. So what we see is two groups of students. One is the 2019 recipients of what we call the Undergraduate Research Scholarship. To the right are the 2020, and the Zoom-like thing is, of course, because of the pandemic. So what happens is straight out of high school, we have 16 scholarships to give out to students where they can work with researchers in the Faculty of Science or the Faculty of Medicine. And that allows you to do research in the summer before 1st year and the summer after 1st year. During your 2nd and 3rd years, We have hundreds of scholarships to give out under what's called the University Research Opportunity Program. And there you work for about 100 hours throughout the school year with a researcher. For our students, it's typically the Faculty of Science and the Faculty of Medicine. You work with a researcher for 100 hours. You also get $1,000 at the end of the year. You present a poster. During the summers after your second and third year, many students get what's called from the federal government, a NSERC Undergraduate Award, and that allows them to work with a researcher, again, typically from the Faculty of Science or the Faculty of Medicine. And let's say instead of staying in Ottawa to do research, you'd rather go abroad and do research. We have the MyTax Global Link Research Award, where you can work with one of dozens of partners we have across the world, typically mainly in Europe and Asia, but it's all over the world. So MyTax Global Link gives you the opportunity to both do research and go abroad during your summers after your second and third years. And during your fourth year, many of our students do what's called the fourth year honors thesis. Basically, roughly 30% of your time is spent working in a laboratory with a researcher, either again in science or medicine. That's 30% of your year. You're there working in a lab. At the end of the year, you present a poster, you present a talk. And so from start to finish, you can make research an integral part of your undergraduate program. Now, very quickly, admission requirements, many of you have already applied, but for those who haven't yet applied and are thinking maybe applying in a future year, if you're in grade 10 or grade 11 and you're listening right now, my big suggestion is get as many prerequisites as possible. We require 2 of the sciences, but if your school offers physics, biology, and chemistry, try to do all 3. Prepare yourself for success. The more science you do, the better. Absolute requirements, though, for admission is that if you want to come to the Faculty of Science, you need, and I'm talking about Ontario, we call it 4U, but wherever you're from, grade 12, your final year of high school, what happens is you need to have either French or English. You also need to do the highest level of math in your jurisdiction, and you need to do at least 2 sciences between biology, chemistry, and physics. And you apply on the Ontario University's application website. And you've probably already done that, many of you who are listening right now. Automatic scholarships, you don't have to do anything to get them. It's part of your admission package. If your admission average is between 95 and 100, you get $4,000 for your first year. 90 to 95, it's $3,000. 85 to 92, 80 to 85, it's $1,000. If by chance you got an offer already for, let's say, $3,000 and your average actually goes up by the time you make it to the university, then we will give you the higher scholarship. You can go up, but you can't go down. Once we've promised you that scholarship, it is yours to keep, okay, if you come to the University of Ottawa. Once you're here, also automatically, every semester in your second, third, and fourth year that you were on the Dean's Honor List the semester prior, you will get $1,000. So if you're doing fall and winter in your second, third, and fourth year, that's an opportunity to collect another $6,000 in scholarships. And if you do some studies in French, if you're a French student, if you do 3 courses a semester, you get $500. And if you're a French immersion student and you do 2 courses, you get the same $500. And this is applicable in your first, second, third, and fourth year. So if you're doing 2 semesters per year, that's an opportunity to collect another $4,000 in automatic scholarship. You don't have to apply. It's given to you if you fulfill the requirements.
First day of classes, I'm going to dive in on this one just to say, so you're thinking now, okay, I'm all set. I'm coming to the University of Ottawa this fall. What will be happening this summer? Oh, well, we do offer, once you've accepted your offer, a half-day orientation, and this is usually for both students and parents. Of course, it will be online this year in large part, but stay tuned and we'll see what Ottawa Public Health says. And this is a chance to see what the campus is about and get general orientation on the facilities. Then closer to the end of August, there's traditionally a math summer workshop. It will be online this year, and it's to review the essentials from the high school pre-calculus and calculus courses. And this is just a chance for you to refresh. We know that it's been a very tough year studying at home and online for many of you, and this is a chance to make sure that you're on par and on track to succeed in your first year studies. In addition to that are the science preparatory workshops. These work on your soft skills, on things like mental wellness, and they're an opportunity for you to get to know some of your classmates. A lot of them also introduce what it will be like to study in university. They have professors from all your first year courses show up and talk to you for about an hour about how they expect you to interact with the course and what they expect of their students in class, and just a general introduction to university academic culture, in addition to the rest of the university culture that you'll kind of pick up in these science preparatory workshops. It's a chance for you to get a great head start on your studies for the fall.
Now, of course, this is a taped recording, so we can't answer your questions right now. But what you see in this picture here is we were lucky enough a couple of years ago to have Bill Nye on campus. He was talking with the Prime Minister at an event, and we are in the nation's capital, so we're right next to Parliament Hill. So Bill Nye was with the Prime Minister. He was gracious enough to join us at the Faculty of Science. So what you see here is Marion Auditorium, and it was a biology first year class. And we asked Bill Nye, would you just like to come in by surprise and surprise the students? He came in, he answered questions for about an hour about anything the students wanted to talk about. It was one of the greatest, the funnest events we've had on campus in the past couple of years. So if you have any questions.
We will be doing a live version of this presentation on March 15th during the open house. And there we'll be asking a big Q&A following the presentation. And then on March 20th, we'll have a live chat also just to answer all your questions and get you all set for coming here this fall. Many thanks.